Okay, so I think that this is our last like housekeeping video, and this is essentially supposed to be your disclosure. Now, before I go any further, I this is for distance learners and in-class learners. I need to tell you that all of the stuff, all of your lessons and notes and practice problems can be found in Canvas. And if you're a distance learner, that's where you're going to get all of your stuff. I'm going to make a separate video for distance learners, so you'll get all the details on that later on in a different video. But before I get into the disclosure and more housekeeping items, Canvas is a great place for you to get anything that you need for this class. For my in-class learners, it is going to be a great place for you to get your absent work if you have to miss class. So if you are absent for any reason, you should be able to get into Canvas, click on the day that you were absent, and watch the lesson for that day that I uploaded for the distance learners. So Canvas, you're going to be able to find everything that you need in Canvas. Is that it? Is that all I need? Oh, the one other thing that I wanted to mention while we're talking about distance learning, and I'm sorry if you've heard this a ton of times already, but distance learning is a little bit different than it was in March. So in March, everybody was gung-ho and we were getting content out, and then all of a sudden every teacher was hearing how overwhelmed you guys were. I can't tell you how many times a student told me, I'm overwhelmed. And so then the district came out and said, you guys can't give them so much work. You have to cut it down to like an hour a week per class. And then by the end, the district was like, we're grading pass fail, or not pass fail, A or pass, or yeah, A, pass, fail, and you could have passed every kid, and at the end it was, for some of you guys, you passed the class even if you didn't do anything. Now, fast forward to today, to fall semester, that's no longer the expectation. The district and our school is expecting that if you are choosing to learn at home, that you know what that's going to be like, you know the challenges and how much work it might be, and you're choosing to do it anyway. So you are expected to do the same thing in-class learners do, and you are expected to spend as much time as the in-class learners are spending. So if I'm supposed to have you for an hour and a half every other day, you will be devoting an hour and a half every other day to stats, just at your home instead of at school. So please know that the expectations for distance learners this time around are much different. If you're electing to learn from home, you have to know that the expectations are going to be the same for you as the in-class learners, not any harder, but the same. So yeah, if you have any questions on that, ask me when we're done with this video, or email me, and I will do my best to answer those questions. Okay, so now let's get into disclosure. I'm just going to refer to my disclosure that I have in front of me. I'm not going to print this and give this out to you guys, because I'm going to upload all of these videos to Canvas, and you'll have them there to watch back whenever you need them, which is probably the way we should have been doing it all along. So, once again, all this is going to be in Canvas, and it's going to be videos. I will probably upload the document, but it's going to be better for you to just watch the videos. Okay, so I'm just referring to my disclosure that I have in front of me. Sorry. Okay, so the expectations that I have for this class, if you've had me before, you know that like my resting demeanor is like salty. Like I usually have a bad look on my face, and sometimes you'll ask me a question and I'm going to sound mad, but I'm not. That's just like my resting personality comes off as really salty. The other thing that you know about me is that it's when we're in class together, there's kind of really no messing around. Like, we joke and have fun, but we're also working. My class is not the class where you have your head down. My class is not the class where you're doodling. Like, we're working, and if you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, like, it gets addressed and resolved and we move on. So just know that if you've never had me, I have really high expectations of you in the classroom. I expect that you're working, and I, especially for this class, expect that you're here because you want to be. You've chosen to take AP Stats, so when we're together, let's make the most of it. One thing that is really important to me is that we're ready to go when the bell rings. Like, when you come in, that the first 5 minutes is not for you guys to catch up with friends. Like, you come in, you get settled down, the bell rings, and then let's go. I get so little time with you. It probably feels like a lot of time to you guys. You're like, when do we get out of here? But to me, it's like so little time that we need to take advantage of every single minute that we have. So when you come in, be ready to work. You're not going to have your cell phone out. You're not going to have your cell phone out. You're not going to have your cell phone out. We're following the cell phone policy. Please ask questions. I've touched on this before, but we're not going to survive. We're not going to be successful if you guys don't tell me when you need me to slow down or explain things again. Even if you have to say it 7 times, please tell me. Explain it in a different way. I still don't understand. Honestly, if you don't understand, somebody else doesn't understand, and everybody's just afraid to admit it. So be the one that takes the hit and says, I just don't get it. And I'll slow down and do the best that I can to help you along the way. So first thing on disclosure is we're here to work, and we're in it together. And if you're confused, you're gonna let me know, and you're not gonna be on your cell phone. Okay, assignments are gonna look a little bit different this year, which means nothing to you because they only look different to me. So let me explain how assignments and homework is going to work. I do not do PBL. I do not do progress-based learning, but I am going to base first term's grades similar to a PBL classroom. And what that means is the only thing that counts towards your grades are assessments. So I don't count homework against you. And for now, the plan is I'm not even going to collect your homework. We can't go paperless. AP is a really challenging class to go paperless. But to help mitigate that, or to kind of help with that, is that I'm not going to collect things from you unless I absolutely have to. So that means that I'm not going to collect your homework. So one, that's gonna reduce the risk of us having to pass around a bunch of papers. But the other reason why this is really important is because when you guys transition to college, the idea is that you don't do homework for a grade, you do it to learn. I think that as a what is this called? Elementary learner? Secondary learner. We're not in elementary anymore. As a high school kid, we're so used to doing homework because it counts on our grade. And we don't very often talk about how the reason why any teacher ever assigns you homework is because that's how you learn. You don't learn by just watching somebody do something. Like, that's expecting, like me, expecting to be able to teach you how to play basketball by just playing it and then saying, okay, go. Like, that's not how it works. When you learn how to play any sport, they show you a skill, they teach you the skill, you practice the skill. That's what it is for learning. I show you the skill, I then work through it with you, then you try the skill. If you skip that practice part, it's hard for you to be successful. So we have to transition your idea of homework from being I do this for a grade to I do this to make sure that I know how to do this kind of problem, or I'm doing this to make sure that I understand the concept that we talked about today. And if that is the case, if we're doing it to learn and not for our grade, then I don't need to grade it. So what makes it worth it? What makes it worth it then for you to be spending hours on homework? Because then I'm going to give you a quiz where you can show me that you learned it. And then hopefully that makes the hour that you had to spend practicing worth it. It's like when you play a game. Practicing for 3 hours might not be super fun for you, but when you make your free throws and when you make your layup or when you make a really tough three-pointer, you're thankful that you put in all that practice time. You put in the practice time so that when it counts, you can be successful. And that's what homework is for this class. You do the homework so that you can be successful, and what success is passing your exam. So that all being said, the plan for now is for me to not collect your homework. You will do your homework, but you're doing it knowing that that is how you learn. You're not doing it for points. Every couple of lessons, I will give you a very short quiz, like 2 questions, a very short timed quiz, and that is what will count toward your grade. Please notice that I'm saying timed. One of the most important things that we have to practice is doing things quickly. You don't get all the time you need on your AP exam. You actually get very little time, and so speed is important. So when we do these little quizzes, I will time them. You will have your first quiz after we do the first 2 lessons. So we have one lesson on different types of data, and then we have another lesson that is us doing activities. And then you're going to take a short quiz. So you'll be taking your first quiz within the next week. So how grading is set up is that you do homework for the practice, and then you take a short quiz, and that is what counts against your grade. Then at the end of a unit, so every couple of lessons, you'll take a short quiz, and then at the end of the unit, you'll take a unit test. So that is what your grade is made up of. Small, short quizzes, and then a unit test. Hopefully that's clear. If it's not, maybe scribble down that you have a question, and then you can ask it when the video's over, or maybe if I'm close to the laptop, I'll pause it and see if you guys have any questions. Okay, so we don't have to worry about late work. So the next part on the disclosure had to do with late work, but we're not going to have to worry about late work in this class because I'm not collecting your homework. And if you're in class the day we take a quiz, then you're in class and it's not late. For my distance learners, you are going to need to come in on the Fridays that you guys learn from home and take your quizzes. You can take it the same week that the in-class learners take it, but you have to come in and take it. Now, if that is not possible for you, just email me and we'll figure it out. But if you can, I need you coming in on the Fridays to take your quizzes, paper, pencil. So yes, even whether in class or distance learning, the quizzes and the unit tests need to be taken paper, pencil, which means you need to come in to take those. If you're concerned, don't freak out and have your parent email me. You email me and you say, hey, not going to work for me, and we'll figure it out. Do not have your parent do it. You do it, okay? And I'll be super nice, I promise. Just email me and let me know. We'll figure out what we got to do. Okay, the AP exam, we need to get you registered for the AP exam soon. We'll talk about that when the date gets closer, but my expectation is y'all going to sign up for this exam, every single one of you, because honestly, it's better if you take it and fail than if you choose not to take it. And when I say better, I mean from a college perspective. Colleges, when they're determining who to admit, the first people that they look at are people who took the AP test and passed. The second set of people they look at are people that took an AP test and failed. After that, they look at everybody else. So just taking the test puts you at an advantage for college admissions and stuff like that. So hopefully we're all going to sign up for the test when it's time. I will explain that to you in further detail when it's getting close. My distance learners, I'll make a separate video for you guys so that you know what's up, what's happening, okay? grading we talked about. Citizenship, you're fine. So I think that's it. Basically, in this video, in this disclosure video, I just needed to tell you that I expect a lot from you guys, but I give it back. I try to give you guys as much time and energy and effort as you give me. A lot of the times I feel like I'm giving more. So just know that I expect a lot from you guys, but I believe you can do it, and that we're not going to grade homework. And if I'm being really truthful, I'm scared about that, because what I have found is if it's not tied to a grade, a lot of people won't do it. And so you're really going to have to dig deep and be committed to get that work done, even though you know that I'm not going to look at it and grade it. So please, like, I know it's going to be so hard. I understand that, but I promise it's going to be worth it. Okay, I think that this might be our last video. I hope that it is. If it is, then we're going to move on and do some goal setting and hopefully talk a little bit about data. And if not, then I'll see you in the next video.